Hello everyone and welcome back to the Yellow City Rundown. My name is Macy Weathers and let's get started for today. Welcome to the top of the Panhandle. We have 3 stories from this week, and our first one is an Amarillo federal court is expected to give a new opinion in the WT drag show ban court case. The Amarillo City Council voted this week to close the southwest pool, and they ordered a study on the southeast pool, and the Storybridge Dream and Donate book drive has begun today. Our first story this week is about the Amarillo City Council. The Amarillo City Council voted permanently to close the southwest pool and keep the southeast pool closed while the city conducts an engineering study to determine whether the facility can be repaired. Council members said the vote was driven by safety risks and the high cost of maintaining facilities that are more than 50 years old. They also stated they have not set a timeline for the engineering study. And any long-term plan for the southeast pool, including the possibility of a new facility, will return to the council for further review and could require voter approval through a bond election. Let's look at a quick clip from one of our newscasts about the entire story.
A long discussion at Amarillo City Hall ended with a vote impacting 2 neighborhood swimming pools. Thank you for joining us. Clint is on leave. Fox 14's Blas Guerrero has more details on what the City Council decided. That story is first on Fox and part of our Democracy 2026 coverage tonight.
The future of Southwest and Southeast Pool has been debated for months, and now council members have taken action. City officials say safety concerns are now the driving factor behind the decision. Staff on Parks and Recreation raised concerns about outdated equipment, leaks, and voids beneath the pool could pose safety risks.
Close Southwest at this point, and let's do a further study on the Southeast, because we do want to make sure before we close something permanently like that, what is the need? What do we really need?
Council members also discussed the cost. Staff estimates show it would take about $1 to $2 million per pool just to handle major repairs.
Not talking about mechanical, we're talking about human safety and human life. And we have to take that has to be front and center. Okay? So the decision in the motion that I made was that we close Southwest. It was a very hard decision to make.
After discussion, the council voted to permanently close Southwest Pool and keep the Southeast Pool closed while an engineering study is conducted to determine the next steps.
Find out what the engineering is. I think the engineering is going to reveal some significant failure, and I think that's going to prove a path forward. If those engineering studies come back and they prove up that we can take care of it with relatively minor expense, then let's take a look at it.
Council members say the engineering study will help determine whether the Southeast Pool can be repaired, replaced, or redesigned, with any long-term plan returning to the council for a final approval. Live in the studio, Blas Guerrero, Fox 14 News. Maya?
Blas, thank you. City leaders say there is no timeline yet for the engineering study on the Southeast Pool. Any long-term decision on repairs or replacements would require further council discussion and possible voter approval.
That was a great clip from our newscaster Maya and our reporter Blas Guerrero. Looking at our second story for today, the Amarillo Federal Court is expected to give a new opinion in the WT drag show ban court case. This court case has been reheard. It had a rehearing on Wednesday by District Judge Matthew Kaczmarek. Both plaintiffs and the defense closed their case the same day regarding the trial, and Kaczmarek is expected to give his opinion on the case. There is a full story on myhighplains.com that gets into the nitty-gritty of what they said in court that day, and we are looking forward to the opinion within the coming weeks.
The first day of a federal trial over drag shows at West Texas A&M University has wrapped.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. After the testimony and closing arguments, the case is now in the judge's hands. KAMR Local 4's Blas Guerrero has details. He joins us live in studio with our top story at 10.
Andy Mari, the rehearing and the trial were heard today, focusing on whether West Texas A&M University can ban drag performances on campus. Plaintiffs representing the student group Spectrum WT called for University President Dr. Walter Wendler to the stand. Wendler testified that he views drag shows as demeaning to women and inappropriate for a university setting. He told the court that he canceled the first drag show in March 2023 without speaking to Spectrum members beforehand and confirmed there were no formal complaints from students, staff, community members, and donors. Wendler said his decision was based on university values, community standards, and concerns about minors. The defense argued the university has the authority to cancel events it deems disrespectful. Former Spectrum WT President Derek Bright also testified, saying the drag show was intended to raise money for the Trevor Project and connect with the community. Bright told the court the group was explored other venues after the cancellation, but found them too small, too expensive, or race restricted, and said minors who attended were required to be with a parent or guardian. Bright says that he insisted on a PG-13 rating of the show to avoid highly sexualized performances. Live in the studio, Blas Guerrero, KAMR 4 News, Andy Mari.
Blas, thank you. The trial ended with closing arguments.
Well, the judge did not issue a ruling, and the case now awaits a decision that could impact free speech policies at public universities.
And that was a great clip from our EB Newscast. Again, the full story is on myhighplains.com if you want to read what they delved into during court that day. Our next story today is the first day of the Storybridge Dream and Donate book drive. They are setting a goal this year to bring in 18,000 books, and this book drive is beginning today, and a book drop-off will also be available on the 19th. Books can be dropped off at the Storybridge warehouse, and for times, you can also look at myhighplains.com for both our main story about that and also a Heart of the High Plains story about that. Well, let's take a look at one of our morning newscasts, Heart of the High Plains.
Storybridge is asking the community to help turn pages into possibilities.
The nonprofit is gearing up for its Dream and Donate book drive, an effort aimed at putting more books into the hands of young readers, because experts say early literacy can shape a child's success for years to come. KAMR Local 4's Kaylee Hanna has details in tonight's Heart of the High Plains.
Storybridge is calling on the community to donate new and gently used books for its annual Dream and Donate drive, an initiative focused on making sure every child has access to stories at home.
We accept books for babies all the way through elementary school. If you've got kids that have outgrown board books, we will put them in good hands for you. If you've got high schoolers that have outgrown their Magic Treehouse collection, you don't want them to collect dust in your attic, bring them and we'll put them in good hands.
But this drive is about more than just collecting books. Perkins says early exposure to reading helps children build vocabulary, improve comprehension, and develop the skills they'll need in the classroom.
That is setting them up for success in kindergarten. That collection of knowledge, they can come into a school with that already, that identity, they are on track to learn how to read.
From learning how to recognize letters to understanding complex ideas later in life, literacy in the early years can shape academic performance for years to come.
We have a lot of kids who don't have those collections of books at home, and so they don't really see themselves as readers. They don't really understand the value of what a book holds, and they come into school and it takes them longer and it's harder. We're trying to prevent, we're trying to set kids up for success. All kids deserve to be readers.
By donating a book or spreading the word, Storybridge says the community can help open the door to opportunity one story at a time. In Amarillo, Kaylee Hanna, KAMR Local 4 News.
Kaylee, thank you. Storybridge says a single book in a child's hands can spark a lifetime of learning.
The Dream and Donate drive set to kick off Friday, giving the community an opportunity to build stronger readers from the very start.
Another great clip from one of our morning newscasters, Kaylee Hanna. Let's hit a quick break and we'll be right back with our Route 66 rundown and our weather and what's up next week. And welcome back to the Yellow City Rundown. We are looking at our Yellow City Rundown, our Panhandle Planner this week for the stories of the week of January 19th through the 23rd. So My High Plains is going to continue to look forward to the WT Spectrum versus Wendler trial. We're going to look out for the decision and any more to do with that case. We are also beginning to follow Brittany Holbrook's trial this week. And WT students are returning back from winter break on the 20th, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day is observed on the third Monday of January, which is this week. Looking at our Route 66 rewind for today, I found one from January 16th, 1928. This year, they had 42 fires in 14 days of the first half of 2028. So the first 14 days of the year in 1928, the first 14 days of the year, they had 42 fires. That resulted in a loss of $15,000, which actually in today's money is around $254,000, and involving $800,000 of property. They said the fire department said it was due to the fact of gas lines, water heaters, electronic objects in the household not being plugged in properly or not being turned off properly. But it was a huge amount of fires for 1928 to start out the year. Looking at our weather watch this week from Chief Meteorologist John Harris, we have possible snow flurries tomorrow morning, and also Sundays could reach back into the 50s and the 60s. However, we are still expecting some colder weather on Monday. Those snow flurries are from a cold front that came in this morning. Pretty crazy. And that's it for our Yellow City rundown. We will be back next week for the week of the 19th through the 23rd with more stories and more top hits of the week. Have a good day, guys. Thanks.